Hello, good morning everyone. Thank you for joining us for City Church Kids Live today. I hope you've had a lovely Easter and a lovely week with your families at home. Before we start City Church Live today, I just want to pray. So if you just join me in praying. God, I thank you for this week. I thank you for all the fun we've had and for all the time we spent with our families. I pray that you would just bless this week and that we'd have a lot of fun learning about more about you and the Bible in this week's City Church Live today, God. Amen.
Hi guys, so we are going to worship the Lord now. We're going to worship God in our singing and in our dancing, and we're just going to give him everything that we've got. So before we do anything, we need to make sure that we are loose and that we can do all the dance moves. So if you are not on your feet, you need to make sure you get on your feet, and I want you to get your one hand and give it a shake, and another hand and give it a shake, and one foot and give it a shake, the other foot, give it a shake. And you know what's coming if you're with us on Sunday. Give your bum a shake and then shake everything. Okay, we are ready. So last week we did a song called We Say Yes. And so today I'm just going to remind you of the actions for the chorus, and then we are going to do the verses as well and the bridge as well. So the chorus says, we say yes, and so we jump up and down like this. We say yes. My soul says yes. Whatever you have for me, whatever lies ahead. And you do the Usain Bolt ahead. And we do it again. We say yes. My soul says yes. Whatever you have for me, whatever lies ahead, we say yes. And that is the chorus. So the verse goes, we choose to serve you, to follow where you lead, to be your witness, to be your hands and feet. And it's basically saying, God, use me as your hand and feet. Whatever you want me to do, I'm going to say yes to it. So that's what I want you to do. So we choose to serve you is we're going to have our hands out like this, and we're going to like move from side to side and move downwards as well. So we're going to go like this, but then our head's going to be nodding as well. So we go like this. We choose to serve you like that. And then to follow where you lead, we're just going to move our legs from side to side, kind of like we're following Jesus, we're marching kind of thing. To be your witness, we're going to go like this, your witness, because we're going to be telling people about Jesus. So to be your witness, and then to be your hands, we just put our hands up like this, and feet, I want you to do a massive kick like this, hi-yah! And you can even do the hi-yah in the song as well. So the whole of the first verse says, we choose to serve you, to follow where you lead, to be your witness, to be your hands and feet. And then we obviously do the chorus. We say yes, etc., etc. The second verse goes like this. It says, in every season, and so in every season, we're going to go like this because there's summer, there's winter, there's spring, and there's autumn. So we do it 4. So in every season, so we're in all the different seasons, we can trust in you. So we can trust in you. So we're pointing like that. For you are with us. So it's like you, and you bring your hands in like that. So for you are with us. And then you are always good. We go like this. You are always good. So let's do that again. In every season, we can trust in you. For you are with us. You are always good. And then we do the chorus. And then the last bit is the bridge. It's, we know that you are for us, not against us. And so it's, we know that you are for us. And you sort of make a thumbs up and then do it to yourself. So we know that you are for us. And then not against us, we sort of move our knees up like this, but our hands are going to go like this. So not against us, not against us. And again, we know that you are for us, not against us, not against us. So let us give the song a go. I'm really looking forward to it. Here we go.
We choose to serve you, follow where you lead, to be your witness, to be your hands and feet. We say yes, my soul says yes. Whatever you have for me, whatever lies ahead, we say yes. My soul says yes. Whatever you have for me, whatever lies ahead, we say yes. Oh, yes. In every season, we can trust in you, for you are with us. You are always good. We say yes. My soul says yes. Whatever you have for me, whatever lies ahead, we say yes. My soul says yes. Whatever you have for me, whatever lies ahead, we say yes. My soul says yes. We know that you are for us, not against us, not against us. We know that you are for us, not against us, not against us. We know that you are for us, not against us, not against us. We know that you are for us, not against us. We say yes. My soul says yes. Whatever you have for me, whatever lies ahead, we say yes. My soul says yes. Whatever you have for me, whatever lies ahead, we say yes. My soul says yes. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. My soul said yes. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. My soul said yes. My soul said yes. Deep within me said, my soul said yes.
Hi guys, so I'm just going to let you know what you need for the craft today before we get started with anything else. So today we're going to make a little raven, which is part of the story today, with some wings on some string. So I'm just going to let you know what you need so you can get it all ready before we do the craft. So first you're going to need some card, black card if you've got it, if not just some white card that you can colour in. If you haven't got card, paper is fine. This is with paper, it's just a little bit floppy, but it's fine. You need a pair of scissors, you need some string or some cotton, you need some coloured pencils, primarily black and orange, or yellow, or anything like that, that type of colour. I've got a marker pen to colour in my card to make it nice and dark black, but if you don't have a marker pen, you could use paint, you could use crayons, you can use your black pencil, anything to turn it black. If you don't get any of those, you can make a white raven, and a pencil for some drawing, and last but not least you need a hole punch to make the hole to put the string through. Right, I'll see you in a bit, bye!
Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing really well and I hope you're all staying safe. I still really miss you all and I hope that you had a really happy Easter. But today we are going to be making and playing our own game. It's kind of like a puzzle. So what you're going to be needing are a pair of scissors and a box that has a picture on it, like a cardboard box that has a picture on it. I'm using my cardboard box from my Easter egg, but you can use any box. So you can use a cereal box, just any box that you have lying around in the house. And what we're going to be doing is cutting shapes out of our cardboard box with the scissors, and we have to try and put it back together then after, and I will be showing you how to do it. Before we learn about this week's story, let's have a little look back to what Catherine and Harry told us last week on the Easter Sunday. So last week, Catherine told us about Easter story, and about Jesus' death and about him risen from the dead. And she told it in a really clever way using Legos. And Harry also taught us about sin using a coin, how you can clean a coin. And so the first question I want to ask today in our recap quiz is, when Jesus died, why were there two people on the cross next to him? So if we start now, so I'll give you some time to either write your answers in the comments below, or you can get a little some pen and paper just to write the answer to that. So again, the question is, when Jesus died, why were there two people on the cross next to him? And if you need a clue, just think about what crime they might have committed to be on the cross. Okay, so the answer is that they were robbers. And so well done if you got the right answer, which was that they were robbers. So the next question today is, what did Jesus save us from? So what did Jesus save us from? Again, you can put that in the comments below and we can see it, or you can also write it down in a piece of paper and a pen. Okay, so the answer today was to save us from death and our sin. Okay, so question number 3 today is, what does sin stand for? So what does the S stand for, what does the I stand for, and what does the N stand for, which Harry told us last week. And it's 3 words, and the 3 words are stained in naughty. So if you got that right, congratulations. So that's again stained in naughty. The last question today before our game is, what are the 3 ingredients that Harry needed to clean the coin? So last week Harry taught us how we can clean a dirty coin. So can you remember the ingredients that he used? And what we needed to clean a coin were vinegar, salt, and of course the dirty coin as well. So well done if you've got that one right. Okay, so that's the end of our recap quiz today. Have a great time, guys.
Hi guys, so today we're going to draw the story on a whiteboard. So we're going to listen to the story and see it drawn. So last week we were celebrating Easter, and we're going to rewind a little bit and talk about why we needed Jesus to die on the cross for us. So before we had to stay inside, and when we were in church, you might remember learning about King Saul and King David. Now they were good kings who listened to God. But after these good kings, the kingdom split into 2, and there were some bad kings. And one of the bad kings was called Ahab, and he is the king in our story today. And the other person in our story today is Elijah. And Elijah was a prophet and a good man because he listened to God. God needed him because Ahab wasn't obeying God's rules. Now one day Elijah went to see the king and told him, God has said there will be no rain for 2 or 3 years. Then God told Elijah to leave the town and hide near a brook, which is like a river. You will have water to drink from the brook, and I have told the ravens, which are birds, to bring you food, said God. So Elijah did what God had asked and went to the brook. He drank the water from the brook, and the ravens brought him bread and meat every morning and every evening. After some time, the brook dried up because there was no rain. Then God told Elijah to go back to a town and a lady would give him food and water. And we can see that God always gave Elijah what he needed, and God does the same for us. That's the end of my story, and now I'm going to hand over to Naomi.
Thanks, Catherine. So, before we go any further, I would like anyone that can remember, actually the first person that can remember, what our memory verse was from last week. I want you to type it in. The first person that gets the memory verse correct will get a prize. I'll give you a clue by doing the actions. See if you can remember what it says. And I also want to know where in the Bible the memory verse came from. So see if you can remember it and type it down. Now, in the story, God gave Elijah, Catherine said right at the end, that God gave Elijah everything that he needed. So the people of Israel and King Ahab, weren't listening to what God had told his people. And so God said that he was going to do something, drastic. And so he stopped the rain. God said that the rain was going to stop. But, God took Elijah away and was able to provide for Elijah in a way that was very different. He sent a bird to give Elijah food for all that time. And then when that stopped happening and when the brook had dried up, he'd sent him away somewhere else. And so what does that mean for us? What can we learn from this, and what does that mean for us? Well, let's have a look. I've got a bit of a setup here, so let's have a look. So, in the story, we see that God had told, through Elijah, had told Ahab that Israel won't have any rain for a while until he said so. And so they were dry. They were living in a dry land. But what God did for Elijah is that he provided everything that Elijah needed. He took Elijah away to a brook and he sent a raven to give Elijah food. And when he was by this brook, God provided everything that Elijah needed. And eventually, the brook had dried up. He got everything that he needed from the brook in this season. And then when that happened, God had told Elijah to go to this woman's house. And again, he would be provided for. And so everything that he needed, absolutely everything that he needed, was provided for. He had everything God had for him there. While these people in Israel were still suffering. They still didn't have any rain, so weren't provided for. So what happened? What does that mean for us? Well, Elijah's been provided for. In the world that we live in today, the rest of the world, they might be worrying. Where is my food going to come from? Where is my provision going to come from? Where is my drink or whatever it is might be coming from? We're worried, but actually for us, we know that as children of God, we are being provided for. We don't have to worry, just like Elijah didn't worry. We don't have to worry because we are going to be sustained by what God has put for us. And it's not going to run out. Just like it didn't run out for Elijah. Just like Elijah was provided for and he had everything he needed. Look at this. Look how wet it is. Elijah had everything that he needed. Well, the same is for us. We have everything that we need when we are children of God.
Right, so I'm back to show you how to do the craft. So the first thing we need to do is get some cards out. So for this craft, we're going to need 2 pieces of card. One for the body and one for the wings. So put that down there out of the way. Now I'm going to be colouring my cards in black marker and this can go through the paper sometimes, so I'm just going to protect the table with some paper because I don't want it to go all over the table like that. You can use newspaper if you don't want to waste paper, but I don't have any newspaper. So I'm just going to colour in the card and then I will see you in a few minutes. Right, so first job is done. I've got my black paper. So I've got some cards. You don't need to colour all of it in, just about 2/3 of it maybe. I'm going to cut that ready like that. So we need a piece of that big. So it's about half, maybe a little bit more than half of an A4 sheet. So put that to one side for a minute. Next, we're going to draw our bird. Now, if you have a printer, you could have a look on Google for an outline of a bird if you didn't want to draw it, but it's not too tricky to draw. So I'm going to show you step by step what you need to do. So first, we're going to start with a beak. So we're going to do one line like this as the start of the beak. And then we're going to do the head, so we're going to do a round head like that. We've got the top of the beak and the head. And then we're going to go down, keep going down, and then flatten off into the body. And then we're going to do a pointy tail. We're going to go down a little bit for the body. And then back up all the way to the beak. If you want to make your tail like this, you can just draw a few triangles like this inside the tail once you've done. So next job is we're going to cut out our bird. Please be careful with your scissors, be very sensible. If you need some help, you can ask a grown-up to help you with this bit. And we're going to very carefully go along the lines that we've drawn to cut out our bird shape. Okay, so now we've got our bird and our black piece of paper. So we can colour our bird in now, that's the next job. So the only thing you need to do is draw a line to make the beak and a little dot, a little circle for the eye, like that. Okay. So then I'm going to colour mine in. And ravens are usually black, so I'm going to colour mine in black. But if you want to be creative, I'm sure your raven wouldn't mind being purple or bright pink maybe, blue or green or whatever you would like. I'm going to colour in the beak, so I'm going to do light, I'm going to colour really lightly on the beak like this, really gently. And then I'm going to press nice and hard and draw a line down the middle to show the top and the bottom of the beak. You see it? So that is, we can draw a little dot inside the eye as well. So we've got the circle and the dot. So next job is we're going to turn the raven over so the white, we can see the white side, and we're going to draw a rectangle just past where his head is. So I'll draw it and then I'll show you where you need to draw it. drawn my rectangle. I don't know whether you can see it between my fingers there. So it's about 2 centimetres long and about 1 centimetre wide. And I didn't measure it, that's just me guessing if you want to measure it. So now we're going to cut out this rectangle. And the easiest way to do that is to softly, very softly, this is actually easy if you've got paper, bend it and do a little cut like that, just so you've got a hole in it, and then you can cut the rest. So we've got our rectangle in the middle. So next job is we're going to fold our paper to make the wings. Okay, so we're going to do a fold. So what you want to make sure is that the fold isn't wider than your hole in your raven, because otherwise it won't fit. So I've measured mine. So when you do your first one, just make sure you measure it and make sure it's not too big before you carry on. So run your fingers along it to make sure it's nice and tight. And then, so you've done one, then you need to flip the paper over. So we've done the white side first, and we've got one little bit of black. And now we're going to turn it over and fold it back. Just going to make like a little zigzag pattern, like the wings of a bird. So, see, like that. So then we're going to do that again. We're going to flip it over and fold it over. Right, so on our last one, fold it nice and tight. And now we have this. We need to punch a hole in the bird just above the box that you've drawn. And then we want to get some cotton. You thread it through the hole. We're going to join the two pieces up at the top and then tie a knot. If you're struggling to tie the knot, you can ask a grown-up to do that for you. Put it nice and tight so it doesn't come loose. And then you have your bird ready for its wings. So this is the last step. So you want to make sure the black is facing the front, like this. So you need to squeeze tight your folding and push it through the gap. There we go. And then just spread the wings out. This. Right, there's my raven done. Please send us yours when you've done them. Bye!
Okay, so I'm going to do this with you. What you need to do first is you need to cut a side of the cardboard box. So I'm going to cut this side out so that it's all like it's just a square. So what you should be left with is just this. So it's just the square with the picture on it that you want. And now we're just going to cut random shapes, just anywhere. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's going to be like a puzzle. See, we're going to go like that. And then obviously try not to make a mess, but we make swirly whirly lines, and they can be as big as you want or as little as you want. So I've got pieces like this, and then you carry on until you've cut up all of the cardboard. Okay, so I'm left with all of these pieces. I've cut them up into different shapes and sizes, and I'm gonna mix them up, and I'm gonna see if Tiana can put all of these pieces back together to make the picture again. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, go! Okay, go on, Tim. That was 58 seconds.
I hope you all enjoyed. I've had so much fun hanging out with you all. Remember to comment down below how long it took you to do the puzzles. Just a quick reminder that there is going to be a Wacky Wednesday video coming out this Wednesday at 12 o'clock. So make sure you go and watch that. It's going to be on all our social media platforms, which you make sure you're following as well so you can keep up to date with everything. Remember to send your creations to Naomi or Catherine, or you can email them to kids@citychurchswansea.org. And we're just going to finish with a prayer. So if we all close our eyes, and dear Heavenly Father, I just want to say thank you so much for this wonderful week that we've had, and I pray that you help us to have more fun and help us to enjoy ourselves. Father God, I pray that you bless the rest of this week, and I say these things in your name, Jesus. Amen.